The Senate of Canada is steeped in history. It's important to note that more and more over the years, the Senate has come to reflect this country's many voices and rich diversity. Established at Confederation in 1867, Canada's upper house provides checks and balances for the country's parliamentary system. Senators are appointed by the Governor-General on the advice of a sitting Prime Minister. There are 105 senators who come from all walks of life and represent all 10 provinces and 3 territories. We profile 4 of these senators who've literally changed the face of Canadian politics and Canadian history. In this segment, we profile one of these trailblazers, Senator Anne C. Coules.
My appointment was not lobbied for, so it was a surprise to many.
Senator Anne C. Coules recalls that life-changing moment in 1984 when she was summoned to the Senate upon the recommendation of Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau.
When he called to inform me that he wanted to invite me to join the Senate, I felt as well in awe, but at the same time humbled.
Coules not only made history as the first black senator in Canada, but also earned the distinction of being the first black female senator in North America. Beyond her many awards and accolades, she's been focused on fulfilling her life's work, making a difference in people's lives.
All that mattered was the fact that I was to do well, and it was my bounden duty to work hard on behalf of the people of Canada.
Her family immigrated to Canada in 1957 when she was 13 and settled in Montreal. She studied sociology and psychology at McGill University, where she earned her degree. Influenced by the civil rights movement of the 60s to fight against racism and inequality, Coules became involved in youth activism.
I have always been deeply bothered and pained, anguished about people's cruelty to each other.
In 1974, Coules moved to Toronto, where she founded one of the first shelters for abused women in Canada, Women in Transition, Inc. A few years later, she ran as a Liberal candidate in the Toronto riding of Rosedale. An outspoken pioneer on domestic and family violence issues, she played a pivotal role in the creation of the special Senate House of Commons Joint Committee on Child Custody and Access After Divorce. A former social worker, she has been a staunch advocate for fathers.
And I have always had a preoccupation with man's inhumanity to man within intimate relations, within family relationships. And I set out to do something about that.
Although she now has no party affiliation and has faced criticism over the years for some controversial views, she stands by her work.
There's a lot of my work that has been on the floor of the Senate around very, some would think, cryptic, arcane, difficult parliamentary questions. But the bulk of my public work has been on these deeply personal areas in people's life.
Currently the longest-serving member of the Senate, Coules reflects on how she'd like her life's work to be remembered.
That I did the best I could. And when I encountered opposition and adversity, I sought to face it, confront it, and defeat it using reasoned argument and rational debate in the name of righteousness and justice itself.
Grateful for the support she's received from Canadians of all backgrounds, Senator Coules says that if she can reach this pinnacle in her career, others can too, because energy and effort are raceless. Reporting from the Senate chamber in Ottawa, I'm Heather Seaman.